The Chase Sapphire cards are some of the most popular and valuable travel credit cards of all time. And with both cards having the highest welcome bonus they've had in a year, I want to review and compare the benefits of each card to help anyone decide which card is best for them based on their situation, since choosing the wrong one could cost you extra money. So in this video, I'll go over the details of the Chase Sapphire Preferred and the Chase Sapphire Reserve to give you an easy way to choose the right card. And at the end of the video, I'll give you some tips on how to get approved for these cards, since there are some very specific rules you'll want to be aware of. Before diving into that, I wanted to let you know that I've included my affiliate links down in the description below. Clicking those links when you apply for cards is the best way to help support this channel. It helps me improve the videos that I make for you, and I truly appreciate everyone who uses those links. With that said, let's jump in and start off by talking about the new welcome offers. So the Sapphire Preferred and the Sapphire Reserve have the highest welcome offer that they've had in about a year. It's very important to choose the right Chase Sapphire card, since Chase has a rule that says you can only choose one Sapphire card at a time. Both of these welcome bonuses are valuable, and on either card you can earn 75,000 points after spending $4,000 on the card in the first 3 months. You'll be earning Chase Ultimate Rewards points, which are quite valuable, and I would value those welcome bonuses at $750 in cashback at a minimum. But you can get more value from these points when you redeem them for travel, and there are two main ways to do this. The first and easiest way to do this is through the Chase Travel Portal, where you'll get 1.25 cents per point towards flights, hotels, and car rentals with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and 1.5 cents per point on travel with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. This difference is one of the main factors on deciding which card is right for you, and we'll come back to that in just a minute. The second way to get greater value for your Chase points is to transfer them to Chase's travel partners. Chase has 14 travel partners with 11 airlines and 3 hotel brands. And on average, you can get about 2 cents per point by transferring points to partners, and both the Sapphire Preferred and Sapphire Reserve allow you to do this. That means the welcome bonus on either card could be worth $1,500 in travel if you transfer them well. But now let's review and compare some of the major differences with these cards, starting off with one of the most important, which is their annual fees. The Chase Sapphire Preferred comes in at just a $95 annual fee, which is a pretty reasonable annual fee, especially compared to most other travel credit cards out there. The Chase Sapphire Reserve comes in at a hefty $550 annual fee, and while that's not ideal for most people, there are quite a few situations where you can make this card work. That's because the Sapphire Reserve comes with some valuable credits, so let's now cover the credits and perks that come with each card. Starting off with the Sapphire Preferred, you're going to get a $50 annual hotel credit that can be used towards hotels that are booked through the Chase Travel Portal. This isn't really my favorite credit since you have to use the Chase Travel Portal, and it's much more beneficial to book directly with the hotels, but it's not too hard to use, and for those who do use it, it brings the effective annual fee of the Sapphire Preferred down to just $45. Moving over to the Sapphire Reserve with its $550 annual fee, you get an annual $300 travel credit that is automatically applied to a very flexible array of travel purchases, including airlines, hotels, motels, timeshares, car rental agencies, cruise lines, travel agencies, discount travel sites, campgrounds, and operators of passenger trains, buses, taxis, limousines, ferries, toll bridges and highways, and parking lots and garages. This is probably the best travel credit in the credit card space since it's so easy to use and it's very flexibly applied to travel. The Reserve comes with a few other partner credits towards Lyft, DoorDash, and Instacart that could be worth over $1,000 in value, depending on how relevant they are to you, but probably the biggest perk the Reserve gives you is airport lounge access. With the Reserve, you'll get a Priority Pass Select membership worth around $469. This will get you unlimited airport lounge access for you and up to 2 guests. Airport lounges come with free meals, better Wi-Fi, and a nice place to work or relax in the airport, and there are quite a few Priority Pass lounges located all across the world. Chase is also developing its own lounges, which are very nice, and currently they're located in Boston Airport, Hong Kong, New York LaGuardia, and New York JFK airports. And new Chase Airport lounges are being developed in Las Vegas, Philadelphia, Phoenix, and San Diego. And overall, this is another important reason to consider the Sapphire Reserve, so remember that for later on. One last credit that comes with the Reserve is a $100 Global Entry, TSA PreCheck, or Nexus credit, which are services that will get you through airport security lines and US Customs much faster. Now let's move on and look at each card's earning categories. The Sapphire Preferred earns 3x on dining, online grocery, and select streaming, 2x on travel, and 1x on everything else. The Sapphire Reserve earns 10x on hotels hotels and car rentals through the Chase Travel Portal, 5x on flights through the Chase Travel Portal, 3x on travel and restaurants, and 1x on everything else. And the main difference with these cards' earning categories that applies for most people is that the Sapphire Reserve earns 3x on travel and the Sapphire Preferred earns just 2x on travel. So after you earn a bunch of points from the welcome bonus and regular spend on these cards, the next thing you'll want to do is of course spend the points. So let's quickly recap the ways you can redeem points through both of these cards, and then I'll share some thoughts on how to choose the right card. So both cards allow you to redeem points for cash back through the form of gift cards, statement credits, or direct deposits at a value of just 1 cent per point. This is better than other banks like American Express, for example, who don't always have very good cashback redemption options. And Chase Sapphire Reserve cardholders will also get access to a feature called Pay Yourself Back, where currently you can redeem your points for 1.25 cents per point on certain purchases at places like gas stations and wholesale clubs. But these categories are changing pretty often, and some of them will expire pretty soon. Another major redemption option that's important, which we mentioned earlier, is that you can redeem your points through the Chase Travel Portal. So remember that the Sapphire Preferred redeems at 1.25 cents per point through the portal, and the Sapphire Reserve redeems at 1.5 cents per point. And the last major redemption option is transferring your points to travel partners, which remember will get you around 2 cents per point. So now that we've covered most of the major features of these cards, how do you decide which one is right for you? So both cards obviously can be valuable depending on your situation. So I think the easiest way to look at it is whether you value the reserve benefits or not. Since the Sapphire Preferred has a lower annual fee of $95, I think most people should default to having this card, especially since gaining access to travel partners, which is potentially the most valuable perk that comes with either card, comes with the Sapphire Preferred. And so why not get a card with a lower and simpler effective annual fee? However, if you're a frequent traveler and you don't already have a card that gets you airport lounge access, then the Reserve might be for you. Personally, I wouldn't get the Reserve solely for airport lounge access, because other cards like the Capital One Venture X get you airport lounge access with unlimited number of guests at a lower effective annual fee. So I wouldn't make a case for this card just based on airport lounge access unless you really value Chase Sapphire lounges, which to be fair are very nice. However, if you're a frequent traveler, a major sweet spot for the Sapphire Reserve is redeeming points at 1.5 cents per point through the Chase Travel Portal. As much as I love redeeming hundreds of thousands of Chase points by transferring them to their travel partners, there are many times where my travel plans just don't have any Chase Travel Partner options. And that's where the portal really comes in handy, since you can flexibly book many hotels and airlines using your Chase points. One of the best arguments for using the travel portal is with economy flights, since there won't be too many times that you'll get more than 1 cent per point in value by transferring them to travel partners anyway. And the Sapphire Reserve will get you that nice baseline of earning 1.5 cents per point. So to summarize, for most people, go with the Sapphire Preferred since it gets you so much value at a pretty low effective annual fee. But if in your situation you look at the perks of the Reserve and those perks can outweigh the annual fee, then don't be afraid to go for that card. One of the biggest challenges with these cards sometimes is just getting approved for them. So now let's move on to a few tips that I have for you to get approved for these cards. So in order to get approved for either Sapphire card, I would generally recommend a good credit score. This means 700 or higher. However, a credit score alone will not guarantee you get approved for these cards, and there's a couple of rules specific to Chase that you'll want to watch out for. The first and biggest rule is the Chase 524 rule. The 524 rule is an unofficial rule that says you cannot get approved for a credit card from Chase if you've been approved for 5 or more credit cards from any issuer in the last 24 months. And this is why so many people recommend getting Chase credit cards first, since it can be restrictive if you've opened a couple of credit cards in the last 24 months. Chase has another rule called the 230 rule, which says you can't get approved for more than 2 credit cards in a 30-day period. And one last important rule, in case you've had one of these cards before, is that Chase will only allow you to earn a welcome bonus from any Sapphire card once in a 48-month period. So if you've earned the welcome bonus on one of these cards in the last 48 months, you'll need to wait until it's been at least 48 months since you received that previous bonus. If you've made it to this point in the video and you'd still like to learn more about different Chase credit cards, I made a video where I ranked every single Chase credit card, and I made a video on my favorite combination of credit cards, the Chase Trifecta. I definitely recommend you check those out. But that's it for this video, guys. If you have any thoughts or questions, put them down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.